It's easy, it's fun. But it's really fun if we're standing up and clapping and stuff. I would say the single greatest attribute that has allowed me to keep going, especially in the first few years that kept me going, was a sense of dedication to the well-being of the children. The needs of those children and providing a good home for those children was more important than anything else. So everything else could be sacrificed, including comfort and, for a while, a great deal of happiness because of those challenges I was talking about. I knew that those children needed me there, and they needed all the staff there, and they needed the home that we were providing for them, and that if I just gave up, then that would be one more horrible experience in their life, to be given the tease of a new life of love and home and family, and then to have that ripped away from them. When we first began, people said, your kids are going to run away, they're going to get into drugs, just wait, you'll see. And of course, nobody wants to hear these predictions, but I just held faith and I said, we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get there. For now, we'll give the best we can. And none of those things have come true. Thanks for humoring me. And central to all of that, of course, is my wife. Without her, I don't know if I'd have made it at all. Certainly, together, we were able to move forward in a much happier and progressive way than had I been doing it by myself. And so I owe a great deal of gratitude and honor to Sova, my wife. We got married after Amrita came, and Alisa is her daughter from a previous marriage, and she's now starting class 11, and then Evan is our biological child, and he's 2.5, or 2 and 4 months, and that makes 12. 13.
Almost
13. In 1 week, 13. And then I guess the third thing that saw me through would be spiritual practices and spiritual development, focus on changing who I am and how I see the world. I guess the philosophical or spiritual base for this is that the best translation of what we believe is not in a book, it's not something spoken, it is lived out in relationships. The real translation of God's word in my mind is when we actually love other people as He has loved us, that we become willing to lay our lives down to serve this world, to serve the people of this world. And I think that is on an emotional level true, but I think it is best translated when it's on all levels, including the physical level, when we really give what we have to help people in need. Another blessing that has come and that we are experiencing now is the fact that we were able to expand what we do. The support, the financial support of the Loving Arms mission was enough that we could open a second home in Nepal. So now we are taking care of 20 children instead of just 10. And in the second home, because it started later, the children are younger, but again, when they first came, we saw that they had all kinds of emotional challenges. Their personal histories were so devastated, so terrible, and yet they are thriving and they're happy and they are just like normal siblings. And so that is the joy of this job. That is the beauty of what we do. And yet our families are not just our families. The entire community that supports Loving Arms mission, all the people who just write a note, we love what you're doing, or all the people who send just $10, all the people who help with our fundraising, or who even just talk about it, and any way that people are involved, that is also our family. And we couldn't do what we do without all the people who are involved. So that's another joy for me, just seeing how the entire community comes together to do something wonderful and support people, support these children and growing up and exploring who they are and exploring this world and becoming happy and productive members. And we're given enough support that not only could we start a second home in Nepal, but we could start to support an orphanage in Kenya with Khalid and his organization in Kisii. Apparently he had orphans being dropped at his door as a community leader, and he didn't have enough funds to support these children. He didn't have a place for them to stay. So as our support proved to be strong and sufficient, we were able to start supporting him and build dorms for these children and get mosquito nets for them, because obviously malaria is a big issue in Kenya, and give them better diet and just help them out as much as we can. So to see the support being as strong as it is and enabling us to keep reaching more children in more places and in more ways, and give them meaningful lives of community, lives of involving love, and lives involving a system of values and a system of seeing life and a system of knowing who God is that allows them to embrace life without fear, is just a great, beautiful reward. And I wouldn't, despite all the hardships I talked about last time, I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel very grateful to be here doing what I'm doing now. Hallelujah.